Hello and welcome back to Power Skills with Janna. I'm Janna Jones, your leadership development specialist, coach, and mentor, and I'm so thrilled that you're joining me today. Strap in, friends, because we are diving into a topic that can transform how you lead and step up in your career, getting really strategic about your personal brand. Now, I know that personal brand might sound like something for influencers or even C-suite executives, but trust me, it is for you. Whether you are leading a team, whether you're eyeing off a promotion, or you're simply wanting to show up as your best self in the workplace, your personal brand is the unique mark that you leave. The way others perceive your leadership, your value, your authenticity. When you get intentional about it, you are not just shaping perceptions, you're creating opportunities to lead with impact. Today, we will unpack the science, the stories, and some strategies to build a personal brand that aligns with your purpose and positions you for that next step up. We will cover how to define your brand and amplify it with intention, navigating challenges like workplace biases or self-doubt, and let's craft that leadership presence that's authentically yours, one intentional choice at a time. But before we jump in, it would really mean the world to me if you would hit subscribe wherever you're listening from. I pour my heart and soul into these episodes to help you lead with clarity and purpose, and your support keeps this community thriving. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and following along as you lead into your own personal journey. I so appreciate you. Okay, let's get started. As always, I wanted to kick off with the why. Because your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. It exists whether you like it or not. It is built from your actions, your communication, your values, how others perceive you, how you show up day in and day out in the workplace. It's the difference between being seen as a solid contributor or a visionary leader ready for bigger responsibilities. Neuroscience gives us a really fascinating lens here. We've talked a little bit in previous episodes about your brain's RAS or Reticular Activating System. But for those who are new here, it acts like a bit of a filter, helping others to notice the signals that you send most consistently. If you are deliberate about showcasing your strengths, say, for example, your ability to inspire teams or simplify complex problems, colleagues start associating you with these qualities. But if you're not strategic, others might form assumptions that don't serve you, like they're really great at what they do, but maybe they're not leadership material. I actually worked with a leader who was a mid-level manager in healthcare, totally brilliant, but often overlooked for promotions. She was working really hard, but she was always so busy and reactive, which meant that as a formidable doer, but her personal brand wasn't reflecting her strategic thinking or leadership potential. So when we clarified her values and amplified her contributions, like speaking up in meetings and sharing her vision, not just her frustrations, she was supported into a temporary step-up opportunity almost immediately, and then tapped for a senior role within the year. That's the power of strategic personal brand. It opens doors to where you want to go. Now, as a leader, your personal brand shapes how others see your capabilities, your capacity, and even your readiness to step up. So let's get practical and explore how we can start to build it with intention. You need to start by defining your personal brand. So step one is defining it. Your personal brand starts with clarity, knowing who you are and what you stand for. This isn't about crafting a fake persona that you want to emulate. It's about amplifying your true, authentic self. So let's dig into how to define it. Clarify your purpose. Why do you want to do what you do? Maybe you're driven to empower teams, innovate processes, or create positive change. Your purpose is the heart of your brand. Then, identify your values. What matters most to you? Is it integrity, collaboration, growth? Pick 3 core values that really guide your decisions and actions. Remember, This is the authentic you, not who you want to emulate in the future, unless that is something that you are really actively working with. Then pinpoint your strengths. Be realistic here. What are you known for? Maybe you're a problem solver or you're a connector of other people. Ask trusted colleagues or maybe even mentors for their feedback to uncover what it is that sets you apart, especially in the eyes of other people. Often people think that their greatest development sits in their gap or what it is that they need to work on. But I am constantly talking with leaders about knowing and leveraging their strengths. This is such an overlooked opportunity. This is the stuff we want people to see more of, right? So you need to get really clear on it. It's not a brag. There is power in knowing and leveraging your strengths. And then, of course, craft your own narrative, combining these into a clear statement. So, for example, I'm a collaborative leader who drives innovation by empowering teams to tackle challenges. This becomes your brand's North Star. What an empowering statement. Now, let's do this together. Grab a notebook or your notes app, unless you're driving, then you can always come back to this later. Or if you sign up for our Power Pause weekly email, you will get links to this stuff and some recommended things for you to do as your actions for the week as part of your leadership development as well. So grab a notebook or your notes app, of course, unless you're driving, jot this down with me. Hit pause if you need to reflect a little bit longer on the questions. Firstly, what is your purpose? This is digging quite deep, actually. Step 1, what is your purpose? Such a big topic in itself. But really, what are you driven and motivated to do? What is it that gets you jumping out of bed in the morning? What do you most enjoy doing? Do you enjoy connecting people? Are you a visionary innovator? Is that something that you feel very, very driven towards? What is your purpose? What are your top 3 values? What strengths do others see in you? As an example here, for my healthcare leader that I shared about before, her narrative was that she was a compassionate leader who transforms healthcare through strategic collaboration. That clarity gave her confidence to align her actions, share her insights powerfully in meetings, and signal her readiness for bigger roles. It was her North Star, something that she could always hang her hat on. When a tough situation surfaces, then you can step back and say, actually, I am that compassionate leader who transforms healthcare through strategic collaboration. So it's on me to step up in this situation. I'm the one that needs to do something different, and I'm the right person to do that. It actually gives you that power and that confidence. So please don't hesitate to come back to this at any time and really dig deep into that step. A lot of people will also put these types of statements on their LinkedIn profile. It's a great way to communicate that to others in a non-threatening environment as well, and it holds you further accountable too. Step 2, amplify your brand with intention. So once you have defined your brand, it's time to bring it to life in the workplace. Now, this is about consistency. Showing up in ways that reinforce your narrative every day. Here's how. Communicate with purpose. Speak up in meetings, of course, without speaking over or shutting down others, but sharing ideas and framing your contributions around your narrative. If collaboration is your brand, highlight how you've united teams to achieve results and how proud you are of those teams coming together in such a powerful way. Build strategic visibility, so seeking out opportunities to showcase your strengths. You might volunteer to lead an improvement project or present at a team meeting or mentor another colleague. These small intentional actions, partnered with consistency, will build your reputation over time. Leverage relationships. Connect with mentors, sponsors, and peers who can truly amplify your brand. Share your career goals with them. Let them know what it is that you're working on and towards. Ask them for insights, recommendations, feedback, or perhaps even to pull you up when they see that you are not leading in a way that aligns with your intention. They are your ultimate cheer squad, advocating for you when you aren't in the room. It is easier for them to do so when they know what it is that you are working towards. Align your actions. Ensure that your daily work reflects your values. If integrity is key, be transparent in decisions. If innovation drives you, propose bold ideas and lead them through to fruition. I worked with a leader who wanted to step up into a senior leadership role. His brand was a strategic thinker who simplifies complexity. He started volunteering in cross-functional projects, sharing insights in leadership forums, supporting his peers and mentoring junior colleagues. His strategic leadership presence did not go unnoticed, and within months he was thanked and acknowledged in a public forum by his CEO. Leadership is truly about others. Your conscious and consistent actions will shape how others see you. Step 3 is navigating challenges and biases. I know that building your personal brand isn't always a straight path. So I would be remiss not to acknowledge some of the barriers, because workplace biases, self-doubt, or limited visibility can create hurdles for us, especially if you are aiming for a step up. So here's how to navigate them. Firstly, counter biases with evidence. If you face assumptions like you're too young or you're not assertive enough, showcase your results. Highlight a successful project or share data-driven insights that may help to shift perceptions. Silence self-doubt. Your inner critic might whisper, "I'm not ready." That's your opportunity to counter it with evidence of your wins. Perhaps you might like to keep a successes file of achievements to remind yourself of your value whenever you may need it. Seek constructive feedback. Ask trusted colleagues to share your goal or your intentions. Inquire as to how you are showing up in meetings aligned to them, or perhaps projects. Their insights may help to reveal blind spots and help you to build, grow, and refine your brand. And stay true to you. Don't try to mimic someone else's leadership style. Authenticity is key. It builds trust, which is critical for stepping up. If your workplace doesn't value your true self, it might be time to explore roles or goals that do better align. Even I have faced gender biases, having worked in a predominantly male-dominated industry for most of my career. Of course, many of my clients do as well. I had one such powerhouse whose brand was a bold innovator. And although she was very introverted and surrounded by extroverts, she leaned into that by presenting data-driven solutions and building allies who vouched for her expertise and sung her praises. Over time, she fundamentally shifted perceptions and landed a leadership role without questioning her own worth or trying to be something she was not. Your authentic brand can break through barriers when you're strategic about it. Step 4. There would be a no final step or step 4 in any of my podcasts or any of my learnings without celebrating your success. And in this case, I want to talk about celebrating and also evolving your brand over time. If you've tuned in for a while, you may have guessed that that was my final step, because I do always recommend that you celebrate your successes. Tall poppy syndrome can get lost. Your personal brand is not set in stone. It grows as you do. Celebrating progress and refining it regularly helps to keep it aligned with your leadership and your goals. So let's consider how. Acknowledge the small wins. Lead a meeting with confidence, great. Receive positive feedback, wonderful. Being asked to fill in for a leader while they're on leave, fabulous. Celebrate with a coffee or a quiet moment of gratitude. These micro wins will reinforce your brand. And it also lets our brain know that we're being successful. Don't ignore these. These small successes compound over time. And when we acknowledge them, so does our confidence. If instead we choose to disregard them, in favor of blind humility, we lose that confidence boost and we lose that compounding effect. Reflect quarterly. I say quarterly because most organizations do this anyway, and at least every 90 to 100 days is a good kind of round number. At this time, consider, is my brand still aligned with my purpose and my career goals? Tweak it as needed, especially as you aim for that next step. Share your story. Post on LinkedIn if that's your jam. I love seeing people share their gratitude at being invited to a conference and what they learned. I get to cheer them on and learn about something as well. Or share in meetings about your achievements or how thankful you are for the support of your team and your shared successes together. When done well, it's not boasting, it's owning your value and building visibility. Invest in growth. Upskill in areas that enhance your brand, like public speaking or strategic planning, seeking out a coach or a mentor. Continuous growth will help your leadership and your personal brand, keeping it as dynamic, unique, and individual as you are. I will never forget a client who celebrated her first keynote by treating herself to a quiet dinner. That simple act of reflection and indulgence fueled her confidence to pursue bigger opportunities in future. Your brain thrives on these moments. Don't skip them because you are busy, friends. It will only ever be to your own detriment if you do. And now let's wrap up with some practical, actionable power practice to make your personal brand your leadership superpower. Start by defining your narrative. As I mentioned, being able to write down one sentence or a brand statement, combining your purpose, values, and strengths. Keep it visible to guide your actions. 2, take a visible step. This week, share an idea in a meeting, volunteer for a project, or do something that showcases your personal strengths. Make it visible. 3, build your cheer squad. Connect with a mentor or a colleague and share your leadership goals. Ask for their feedback or support. 4, track your wins. I thoroughly recommend starting a successes file to log your achievements that reinforce your brand. Review it when self-doubt creeps in. If you are heading into performance reviews, this can be really great fodder for that conversation as well. 5, celebrate progress. Progress over perfection always. Plan a small reward for a brand building win, such as a coffee, a walk, or a moment to reflect. Just make it personal, make it yours. Okay, friends, let's take a moment to pause together. Grab a pen or think through these questions in your own time. Don't hesitate to pause me if you want to dig a little bit deeper before moving on. Firstly, what do I want people to say about me when I'm not in the room or meeting in my workplace? Again, what do I want people to say about me when I'm not in the room or meeting in my workplace? Now consider, how does my focus and my actions align with my purpose and values right now? You're just taking the time to consider, how does my focus and my actions align with my purpose and values right now? And then, what is one strength I can amplify this week to strategically build my personal brand? This one's a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? Because you know it's going to come with a challenge. What is one strength I can amplify this week to strategically build my personal brand? And we should always consider our barriers as well, because when we don't and we just bury our head in the sand and think that everything is going to be fine, we find that we struggle a little bit more. So being able to consider these things in advance is incredibly helpful. So my final question to you, what is holding me back? Are there biases? Perhaps there's self-doubt, or I feel a lack of visibility in my workplace. How can I take one step to overcome it? Another loaded question there, isn't it? What is holding me back? Are there any biases, self-doubt, lack of visibility? What's going on for you? And how could I take one step to overcome it? And these questions are not just food for thought, they are fuel for your action. Your answers will light the path to a more aligned sense of self. So your challenge this week, I told you this was coming. My challenge for you, should you choose to accept it, is to do exactly that. Write a one-sentence personal brand statement rooted in your purpose and your values. Then take one action this week to amplify it. As I mentioned, that may be speaking up in a meeting or sharing a win with gratitude on LinkedIn. Celebrate that step with a small reward, like a coffee or a moment of gratitude, and share your progress with your cheer squad. That first action, it really is rocket fuel. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me on this episode of Power Skills with Janna. Your personal brand is more than a reputation. It is the intentional mark that you leave on the world. By defining it with clarity, amplifying it with purpose, and navigating challenges with authenticity, you are not just leading, you are stepping into leadership that you are meant for. If this episode has sparked something in you, I would love to hear about it. Connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Power Skills Development, or visit www.powerskillsdevelopment.com. I have way more free tools, resources, and downloads on there for you as well, if that's helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to Power Pause. That is my weekly leadership reflection email. It is your gentle nudge to stay intentional and to lead with purpose. And if you know someone who would benefit from these insights, share this episode with them to help them shine. Until next time, stay curious, stay purposeful, and lead with the authenticity that sets you apart. Let's build that career and life that you are meant for, one step at a time.